Iran, a name that dominates U.S. headlines as the ultimate rival. Iran didn't become a powerhouse in a vacuum. It was a partnership gone wrong. But 50 years ago, Tehran was a playground for the American elite. This wasn't just a friendship. It was a construction project. The U.S. built the infrastructure, the military, and the nuclear foundation. Without Washington, the Iran we know today simply wouldn't exist. This is how the U.S. assisted in creating its own greatest enemy. 1950. The Cold War is freezing over. The U.S. needs a watchdog. But Iran had a leader, Mossadegh, who wanted Iranian oil for Iranians. The CIA responds with its first ever regime change, Operation Ajax. Democracy was traded for stability. The Shah was placed on the throne. The biggest irony of the 21st century, Iran's nuclear start. 1957, Eisenhower launches the Atoms for Peace program. The U.S. signs a deal to provide Iran with nuclear tech and fuel. 1967, the U.S. delivers a 5-megawatt reactor to Tehran. It's still there. The U.S. didn't just give hardware. They trained the first Iranian physicists. By the mid-70s, the U.S. was helping Iran plan a massive nuclear grid. Washington saw a partner. They didn't see the coming storm. The Ford administration even pushed Iran to buy a reprocessing plant. This would have allowed Iran to extract plutonium, the key to a bomb. The foundation for today's nuclear standoff was made in America. In the 70s, Iran was the only country allowed to buy the F-14. Nixon told the Shah, "Protect the Gulf. We'll give you whatever you need." Billions of dollars in high-tech U.S. weaponry poured into Tehran. The Iranian Air Force became an extension of the U.S. military, but power requires control. Enter the SAVAK, the secret police. The CIA and Mossad helped organize and train the Shah's brutal enforcement. This agency crushed dissent, creating a pressure cooker of civilian rage. While the elite modernized, the masses felt the sting of SAVAK's boots. The Shah believed he was the new Cyrus the Great. The youths agreed. But the American-built throne was resting on thin ice. 1978. The pressure cooker finally explodes. The youths say back modernization was seen as an attack on Iran's social and cultural values. President Carter hesitated. To support the Shah or the people, January 1979, the Shah flees. The USIP-built pillar of the Mideast falls. The revolution wasn't just religious. It was a total rejection of America. November 1979, the U.S. Embassy is seized. The Great Satan is born. 444 days of crisis. The alliance didn't just end, it turned into a blood feud. The irony: the new regime now owned the world's most advanced U.S. arms. The very jets sold to protect the West were now aimed at U.S. carriers. In a panic, the U.S. assists Iraq's Saddam Hussein to contain the new Iran. The 1980s, a brutal war where the U.S. plays both sides to maintain a balance. Even during the war, the U.S. secretly sold missiles to Iran, the Iran-Contra scandal. By 1987, the U.S. and Iran were in a shadow war in the Persian Gulf. 1988, the U.S. accidentally shoots down an Iranian civilian airliner. 290 dead. The bridge was burned. There was no going back. Fast forward to today. Iran is a regional heavyweight. Using the very tactics of proxy influence learned during the Cold War, the nuclear program the U.S. started is now the world's biggest headache. The U.S. spends billions to stop what it once spent millions to start. Sanctions are the new weapon, but the infrastructure is already deep-rooted. They still fly the F-14s. They still use the reactors. They still use the maps. In CIA terms, this is blowback, the unintended consequences of intervention. Every administration since the 50s has left a fingerprint on modern Iran. Iran didn't become a superpower in a vacuum. It had a partner. One built the foundation. The other built the walls. A 70-year cycle of assistance, arrogance, and aggression. The architects of the 1953 coup couldn't have imagined 2026. History is a mirror. To understand Iran today, you have to look at the U.S. yesterday. The ultimate irony, the U.S. helped create the very rival it now seeks to destroy. Was it a mistake or an inevitability? You decide. In the game of geopolitics, today's ally is tomorrow's greatest regret. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more untold stories that shape the past and continue to influence the world today. Thanks for watching.